Yellow plebs, it's time for another riveting episode of Dead by Discussion, where the pleb discusses all things Dead by Daylight. I got the idea to do this video from a commenter of mine. I forget your name. I'm sorry, friend. I will learn. I'm bad with YouTube names, especially. I'm sorry. I'm learning. I promise. But top 3 characters I want in Dead by Daylight. But that's. If to make it top 3 characters I want in Dead by Daylight, I could just say the names and be done. So, I thought that wasn't very creative to do a video on, so I thought I would do that, as well as, go into some theory crafting about what they might be able to do if they were in the game. So, just get a little instance, not of their perks, because that's too much for me. I don't consider myself the greatest character designer in the entire world. I think what I'm good at is fixing characters who are bad. That's my strength. Fixing characters that are already out that suck. But in terms of original characters, I don't consider that the strongest suit that I have. But I figured I'd give it a go, just because it's just me theory crafting about what they can do. So it's not like any of this is gonna get taken seriously. So it doesn't particularly matter if my idea is trash or if it's broken. It doesn't matter. It's not in the game, so it doesn't fucking matter. This is just me doing some potential theory crafting on just spitballing around some ideas. So, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 7 that I really wanted to bring up, so I think I'll be able to handle that for 40 minutes. So, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm not going to go into as much detail on everybody, because some I just don't really have an idea for. But honorable mention, I don't have any ideas on how to implement him, just because there's so much stuff that he would do, it's off the table. And Jason, I think Jason, everybody wants him in the game. Everybody knows he deserves a spot. So, but the problem is, Friday the 13th, the game is still out there. And as inferior as it is to DBD, it's still, out there. So until that game is completely dead and not pulling in any more sales, done with updates, we're probably not going to see him. So Jason, if Jason gets in, which he might not, probably not actually, I don't think he's going to get in. At least not this game. If we ever get Dead by Daylight 2 on the next console, he might have a shot at that one. And I hope all characters come back. We don't have enough killers to start doing cuts, so I think everybody should come back if this game gets a sequel. But that's beside the point. We got this big dev live stream coming up for the 3 years of the game. So I'm interested to see what they're going to announce. I heard rumors of a story mode. If we get a story mode for this game, I'll lose my shit, dude. But anyway, that's getting off topic. That's probably a subject for another video. Jason, honorable mention. I don't really know what you do. I kind of have an idea, but that kind of goes into another killer on this list that I feel is better suited to have that characterization. So, all of my ideas for Jason, I feel would be better on other killers. So, Jason's kind of been hard to think of specific things for. He's one of those characters that's so diverse in his skill set that thinking of an idea for him in the game is kind of it's a bit hard, a bit tricky. Next, I think if anyone's played Identity 5, I'm a big fan of that. So, rather than giving a spot to one killer, and this is fantasy, I can do what I want, people. I can do what I want. If I want, you ask me who I wanted in, I think it'd be fucking sick to get an Identity 5 killer in this game. I don't think you put Joker in, because Joker and Hillbilly are basically the same character. We already have 2 Hillbilly archetypes, so we don't need a 3rd one. But you put Hell Ember could be fun if he was in this game. I mean, he'd be fun. I don't think he'd break the meta. But in terms of who I think would break the meta, if you put Soul Weaver in this game, she breaks it, dude. Soul Weaver in this game would wreak havoc all over the fucking stage. She wouldn't be better than Nurse. She might be number 2 if you put her in this game, because I don't see her being better than Nurse for sure. I mean, out of any killer, it's possible that has a chance to be better than Nurse. She might have a chance, just because she'd be kind of She would be an anti-loop, or she'd be another Clown archetype. But the thing about her, that's Clown, she'd be way better than Clown unless they severely nerfed her power. Because the way she is in Identity 5, if you put Soul Weaver in this game, fuck, dude, she would wreak havoc like no one else. She could use barbecue and chili very well with her speed boost to get around the stage. And, Soul Weaver would be scary if she was in this game. And plus, another thing that would be cool about Soul Weaver in this game is that she'd be the first killer that's like a non-human. We don't have any non-human archetype killers, which is something I would actually like to see if they could do it right. Identity 5 showed that you can do it, and you can do it well too. Again, I don't have any ideas for any non-human killers other than Soul Weaver, but like, I mean, I don't think anybody wants Cujo in Dead by Daylight, but, you know, I think it'd be interesting to see something like that implemented. Soul Weaver, I think, if Soul Weaver came into the game, Soul Weaver would have an impact on it. She wouldn't just, like, be another mid-tier. If Soul Weaver came into the game, she'd be a meta-breaking character. And I think that's what would be cool about her, to see some, another killer that really makes survivors sweat. Because I mean, Legion made people bitch because of bad character design. But, like, if you put fucking Soul Weaver in this game, they would have a legit reason to be fearful because of how well she would do. Especially at maps like the Asylum and Gideon Meat Plant. With all those tight spaces, she could just put her webs and she would be flying around the stage. She would be super hard to escape from. And she'd be impossible to loop. Which I don't know what you do to her. She's got a lot she can do, so I don't know if you'd implement all of her powers. I think if they chose to get rid of one, it would definitely be the projectile that does 25% health. Which, I mean, I don't think you get rid of that. It's a massive part of her kit. But, like, I think if you transfer Soul Weaver, you transfer her exactly as she is at the start. And just kind of see how she does. I think she'd be meta-breaking, and I think she'd be really good. Especially in this game when she has, like, less stuff to, like, worry about. And then you give Soul Weaver perks in this game, like barbecue and chili and a hex totem. Like, fuck, dude. She's fucking scary. Another killer I think would actually be good is Photographer, if you put him in this game. I've been theory crafting on a Photographer appearance in Dead by Daylight since I made my first Identity 5 comparison. I think Photographer would very much benefit from these smaller maps. The Temple of Purgation is like the first map a Photographer would not be particularly good on. But like all these smaller maps, I think Photographer would have a serious impact on the game. Especially if like these characters, you bring them into Dead by Daylight, they get their own custom perks too. So like you could give something to Photographer. I don't know what you do, and they get their own specific add-ons. That would make Soul Weaver even scarier, actually. But like you put Photographer in, the small map size in Identity 5 benefits, and the smaller maps like Red Chapel, he gets a lot of benefits from the smaller maps. Making that the standard, and then you give him a hex totem again. Like you give all the stuff to Identity 5 killers, things from Dead by Daylight. And they could potentially be even better in this game. I think Photographer would be a much better character if he was in this game versus Identity 5. I think his weaknesses in Identity 5 stack up harder for him in that game because the maps are generally bigger, and like his like poor chase potential is because of the controls of the game as well as like survivors having more powers they can do. By limiting survivor options in this game, it makes the whole baseline killer thing not as big of a deal. Not to say baseline killer is good, because it's not in Dead by Daylight. But like, baseline killer in Dead by Daylight is bad. Baseline killer in Identity 5 is impossible. It's impossible. So like, helping Photographer in that aspect, I think he would be another character that would be breaking to the meta if he was put in Dead by Daylight. Dream Witch, I think, would have potential to be a meta-breaking character, just because of how good. It's like she's starting to see splashes in Identity 5 of play. As people are starting to figure her out, and it's becoming clear that she's not a bad character. So it'll be interesting to see Dream Witch implemented into Dead by Daylight. Who else? Mad Eyes, I think, would be fun. He's really hard to play, but like his plays are really like big brainy and fun as fuck. I played a few rounds and I can't figure him out yet, but like, I think seeing Mad Eyes in Dead by Daylight would be hilarious, especially since he doesn't have like a priestess counter that could actually go through the fucking walls. And then if you implemented a 2v8 mode, Mad Eyes and Nurse would be disgusting together. Holy shit, dude. The fucking possibilities of Mad Eyes and Nurse being a team. Isolate the survivor, Nurse teleports to the wall and then downs them. They can't do anything about it. That'd be fucking cool, dude. That'd be some fucking big brainy shit right there. Okay, so I talk about Feaster. Feaster's my main. I think it'd be funny to see him. He wouldn't be good, but like he would be funny. Especially in this game where mobility's better, Feaster would be even worse. But like, it's funny to see like, it's funny because like, it's funny to think about stuff like this. So an Identity 5 killer, I think it'd be fun to have a nice little guest appearance from one of them, just because the two companies are clearly on good terms, so it's not the most like impossible thing. But you know, my suggestions, if I had to pick one personal preference, I pick Photographer. But if you really want to like break the meta, you put Soul Weaver in, no question. If you really want to scare survivors and make them bitch, put Soul Weaver in. So yeah, Identity 5 killer, please put one in. I think it would be super cool. Just put them in exactly as is. Give them 3 perks. Give them some add-ons. Go nuts, man. I think it'd be fun as fuck. Next, I think it'd be cool to see a vamp. We don't have a vampire yet, and I think this game could help like make vampires cool again, because vampires suck right now. No pun intended for that fucking awful movie that was a parody of Twilight. But like, I think we should get a vampire. You don't have to make it like the first instinct is Dracula, but I'm really they can make their own original character for this one. So yeah, I'm trying to like give them, apart from all the licensed killers I want, if it doesn't have to be a licensed killer, it doesn't have to be, because like it'd be probably, I know Dracula's like public domain, but like it might be cool to see what they can do to like make their own character. So like theory crafting on a vampire / Dracula, I think it'd be cool to see them like start the match as a bat or something, or like they can do some kind of shape-shifting power. And like an idea I had was like, the bat has 0 tear radius when they're in bat form, and then they can like land on a survivor and like suck on their blood, and that blood, and this is just the idea I had, that blood would drain from their bleed out timer. So it would kind of make a character, you could argue he's like a slugging character. You could like make a character whose intent is to be a slugger. You just leave people on the ground. That's something you could do with like a vampire. So like, just make him a slugger, but like then they wouldn't get any hook points, so like that would be it wouldn't be like viable to rank up, which is why I had that idea. I scrapped that. But like, so the other thing I had was like it slows their action speed, like their ability to heal, do gens, shit like that. It's just kind of like what the plague should be. If you can land it, it reduces their action speed for like 60 to 120 seconds or something, depending on add-ons. I mean, it wouldn't be like the worst debuff in the world, like they'd still be able to get things done, but it would just slow them down and give the vampire more time to like do things. And then, I don't know, maybe another power to help him in the chase, to not make him a baseline killer. I mean, I guess you could argue the bat could help him in the chase, if it was like, the times would be similar to Wraiths, with the cloaking and uncloaking, so you could kind of argue that would help him in the chase. Just kind of like it's kind of like Wraith with some extra stuff to like slow the game down a little bit. Probably wouldn't be good. Probably be about a mid tier. If my guess is he'd be probably a mid tier, or maybe even a low tier, low mid. He doesn't like, it doesn't sound like that good on paper. Obviously, that's just a baseline idea. You could play around with it a little bit, maybe do a little something with it. I just think it'd be cool. We don't have a vampire yet, so any way that they'd like to implement that, I'm open to ideas on that. Just Dracula or a vampire in some way, shape, or form. Just because we don't have that yet, and we're starting to run out of stuff, so please, vampire, get him in there. My next idea, these last 3 are, there's these last 4, there's one that you could like, play around with to make the original character, but these last 3 are pretty much licensed characters. Last 4. I have 4 left. Valak from The Conjuring. I am a big fan of The Conjurings. I think they do so much right. And I think the latest movies, The Nun and The Curse of La Llorona, haven't been as good, but they're still good. If that like when you compare them to James Wan's work that he's done with the first 2 Conjuring movies, and even Annabelle Creation was a good movie. When you compare them to those movies, they're not. I mean, they're not very good. They're standard. But like, I didn't think The Nun was garbage, and I didn't. And I heard The Curse of La Llorona was bad too. I actually didn't get to see that one, but like, I'm sure it's fine. It was the guy's tryout movie before he directs The Conjuring 3, so we'll see what happens with that one. But Valak is, I think, the Conjuring series' poster boy, apart from Annabelle. But Annabelle and Valak are definitely the poster boys, poster girls. I guess they're girls. Well, I mean, they're not really girls. They're just kind of demons, so I don't know if they have gender. The Ram Demon from the Annabelle movies, and then Valak. But, you know, those 2 are kind of the poster boys of the series. So, like, and obviously you can't really put Annabelle in the game. Well, I guess you could, but, like, because, like, Annabelle's technically, like, the Ram Demon. So I guess you technically could put Annabelle in the game. Annabelle in the game might be actually super weird. Like, if you could, like the demon would be invisible, and it would just be Annabelle, like, floating around or something. But like, that wouldn't be scary. That'd be kind of dumb. So, like, maybe Annabelle, the doll, like, wouldn't move. It would, like, teleport to, like, places on the map or something to, like, where the demon could be. I don't know. It'd be weird. But, like, that's major spitballing I just made up on the spot. Valak, I actually have kind of some stuff written down for. Valak, here's what I would kind of do with Valak. That's easy to say, oh, just make Valak a baseline killer, give him a power that helps with the chase. You know, it's easy to say that. And, like, that's what you could say that for every one of these characters. I'm just really spitballing and getting crazy with the character design here, just because I want to see something original in the game. So, like, you could easily just say, oh, give the vampire a power that, like, helps him out in the chase, and then voila, call it a day. It's easy to say that, but I'm just really spitballing with character design here. That's what the goal is. So yes, I know, I understand I'm getting crazy, but like the fact is, I just want to see something cool. So Valak, I think so. Valak would be if I was designing the character, I think Valak would be cool if she was like another character that like was invisible to the rest of the players. Like you just don't see her, kind of like Freddy and Wraith for the most part. You just don't see her moving around the stage, and like And for Valak, Valak would kind of be a baseline killer, but Valak actually might need something to help him out, help him / her. I don't know what gender Valak is. I think it's a dude, but Valak actually might need a little something extra that I just can't think to help him out in the chase, because this character is going to be limited in some regards. Because Valak, like Freddy, is not going to be able to hit people while she's like not in the while she's in the dream world. While she's like in the spirit world, she won't be able to like hit people. So like what she has to do is possess somebody. So she goes up to a survivor, and she has to like kind of latch onto them, and, like she has to possess their physical body. And then once Valak possesses them, that survivor becomes the killer, and Valak controls the body of the survivor and then just plays the game normally. So yeah, it'd be kind of like a hit condition, but like the point, the reason it's a hit condition, yeah, the only character that has a hit condition right now is Freddy, and he's garbage. So the way I decided to work around that is, though, like, yes, her power is a hit condition, but her power also takes the survivor out of the game completely. So it's a reward. Like, when Valak is chasing somebody, there are 2 survivors out of the game, and only 2 working on generators. So basically, somebody is hooked already when she gets a free hook, is I mean, not really, but, like, you know what I mean. She gets a free hook. Like, she's taking people out of the game without even having to do it. The survivor that is possessed is then in the spirit world, and then this is just a rough idea. In order to free themselves, they have to run around the map. It'd be like kind of like a barren version of the map. They have to find 1 generator. There should be probably one's not. Yeah, if survivors memorize the generator spots, this wouldn't take particularly long to find it. So yeah, they have to find a generator. There's one generator on the map. They have to find it and complete it with hex skill checks to free themselves from Valak. Once they free themselves, Valak cannot possess that same survivor twice in a row. That was kind of my weird bonkers idea for Valak. So like, and then oh yeah, if they have a toolbox, it does help them in the spirit world, but it doesn't take up their real world toolbox. So like, I don't know, that was just a big spitball idea I had. You might need to give Valak something else to like help her out in the chase just a little bit, just to make her not baseline. I don't know what you do though. I don't know, it's kind of like a demon possession idea that I had. That'd be original. Might not be good, but you know, we'll see. Might be good, might not be good, or it might be broken. You see, I don't know. This is like this is why I'm super bad at designing original characters, which is why I don't really tend to like do it often. But that was my weird idea for Valak. Pennywise is my next idea. I think Pennywise is another character that people would want to see, but a lot of people have lost hope because of the clown. Why? Why have people lost hope because of the clown? Leatherface and Hillbilly are like proof that you can get licensed characters in with their fictional counterparts. So, a clown, Pennywise, is a character I would like to see. But like watching the movies, he has kind of a diverse skill set. So what he can do is up in the air. But like I had an idea. It's kind of based off of Friday the 13th, the game, just slightly, very, 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 very slightly. Which you could argue you could give it to Jason, but I think Pennywise would be better at this. It matches with Pennywise. Pennywise likes to like their fear, right? That's his whole gimmick. He likes to like feed on people's fear. So you give survivors like a fear meter or something, and like, you know, it just gives them like another. I think the meta of this game soon is going to be giving survivors secondary objectives. I think that whole like character archetype has so much potential. We just haven't really gotten a good one yet. I mean, the pigs is good when it works, but like secondary objectives, making them waste their time on something other than like the game, I think is going to be meta. But the problem is we just haven't gotten any good ones. Like the whole archetype. I think the best one we have is Doctor. Is it? Yeah. In the top 5, I'm thinking about the top 5, maybe the top 6, the Hag. Yeah, the best character of secondary objectives is Doctor, curing the madness. So that's, but like, it's only because he's the most consistent. I think Pig argued that if Pig got to have those 2 add-ons that I want, I think she could like rival him. But like, okay, see, the survivors have like a fear meter, and they have to keep that fear meter down, or they risk getting into the exposed state. I think that would be an interesting idea. And there'd be stuff around each map that could help them do that or something. Just like they have to complete little mini games, hit skill checks, and then it would just their fear meter would like, and their fear meter would go up whenever somebody gets downed, whenever they see Pennywise, you know, stuff like that. Having to unhook somebody, basic actions would like raise their fear meter, and like you could argue you could do this for every killer, but I think it'd be better if it was just one specific killer gimmick, because it would just it's an excuse to get somebody an original design. Fear meter, somebody gets down, it goes up. You know, chases, it goes up. It would go up in the chase too, but it would be like it would go up slowly over time. Getting hit would make it go up. Just stuff would make it go up, and then once it's at the top, you hit the exposed state, and then you could give them like a secondary power to like slightly increase his chase potential as well. You know they need that, or you know you just leave them baseline. I don't know. I didn't really have an idea for Pennywise until like right before recording, so that's just a very loose idea I had for him. I think he'd be cool if he was in. And I think with this new movie coming out, I think he deserves to be in this and Mortal Kombat. Alright, boys, we got 2 left. Alright, we have number 2, we have an alien killer. Yeah, again, they have a lot of free reign with this one. You can just like, I like to see some kind of alien in this game. Because again, that's something we don't have yet, and some people are scared of aliens. and especially if you can spook him right. I mean, you could do Predator if you really wanted to. I'm not a big Predator guy though. I think that movie is overrated slightly. But I think Alien, like a xenomorph, would be actually really cool in this game. And I had two. Alien is a character that I fully designed. And I think he's the only one I've fully designed because I actually know what his powers would be and shit. With no like speculation. I think for Xenomorph's main power is he climbs on the walls. Have you ever played, has anybody ever played AVP 2010? Playing as a Xenomorph in that game where you can climb over structures and just like, it can be kind of awkward to control at first, but once you figure it out, Jesus Christ, it's so fun. I think seeing that in this game would be sick. If the Xenomorph could like climb on the ship, or climb on the Thompson house, climb on the coal tower. Think of the potential for looping, the ability to like, and like since he has balance, Xenomorph would never have to like do a fall. Like some people like to do stupid falls off of high structures during chases. I think you saw one earlier with Meg. Wouldn't it be cool if the Xenomorph could like, instead of having to fall, just you held L2, latched onto the wall, and then crawled down at completely right angles? It would like keep you moving versus that free fall animation, and it would punish survivors for even trying balanced landing. So like just think about Xenomorph climbing over Xenomorph on the exit gate. Just picture some shit like that. That would be really neat if it was in this game. Or around the exit gate, because my idea was like you could kind of be a stealth killer, like when the Xeno's on the wall, it has that lacks a terror radius, or its terror radius is significantly reduced. One or the other. But like it's sitting there on the wall, and it has 0 terror radius, and it wouldn't be able to go over pallets because you gotta have some defenses against it. But it would be able to like traverse all the terrain around the pallet, so you could still loop him. But just like think about the Xeno crawling around on the killer shack. Like look at that. That'd be a fun little neat twist. And then for the power that helps him in the chase, he could have like an attack kind of like it could be like a charge attack, kind of like Huntress's hatchet, but it's like his tail shoots out, and that can go over pallets. It would take a little bit longer to charge. It would be kind of like a chainsaw. It'd be kind of like Leatherface's chainsaw, except it could like arch over, like you could be charging it like right now, like as I was right next to the Quentin, and like it wouldn't be an instant down or anything like that. It would just be like another ability to do like a basic hit. So like you're sitting there when you're climbing on a wall, 0 terror radius, and like you're sitting there on the fucking basement ceiling, dude. What the fuck? I think that'd be so cool if it was in the game. And then just blammo, and then you could like drop to the floor. Like just the controls, you give him the controls of the AVP 2010 game, and then boom. I mean like you slightly nerf his massive tail, obviously that'd be stupid. But then another idea for pallets, he could like spit acid, and the pallet would corrode. That's another idea I had. I mean, I don't know if you give him all this stuff. I think if you give him the stuff where he climbs on the wall, I think he's fine. But like you could have spit acid that slowly corrodes the pallet over the course of a chase, so like it would just slowly dissolve. So like it would. Yeah, it's kind of an idea. And then another idea I had, it's kind of ripping off the pig though, so I didn't really go much into it. Kind of like a face hugger death timer or something, where you could like implant them with a face hugger, and then they have to like run around and try to stop it. I don't fucking know. It's kind of a secondary objective idea that I had. But like it's kind of ripping off the pig too much, so I didn't go that much in depth into it. But I think the idea of him climbing on the fucking walls is the real standout idea here. Fucking I think if we had a killer, like not even just a Xeno, just if we had a killer that could do that somehow, I think it would be super fun. Put Brandon Urie at Dead by Daylight. Oh, fuck, dude. Jesus. And then the last idea that I had for a killer in this game would be Pinhead. And if I put one killer in this game, I put Pinhead in. I think Pinhead more than deserves it. I love the Hellraiser franchise. I think it desperately needs revived. I heard someone's actually doing a revival of it. But I think you put fucking Pinhead in this game, and it's the first step to reviving the franchise. I think in terms of who needs it, Pinhead needs it more than anybody else. Just to get more eyes on Hellraiser. But okay, so here's my design for Pinhead. the Lament configuration's the box that's from the Hellraiser movies. You stick that in one of the chests as like an item or something. So it's in the one random chest on the map, and then whoever finds it becomes the obsession instantly. Like, it doesn't matter if there's an obsession. The one who holds the Lament configuration is the obsession. There cannot be exchanging. Once you hold the Lament configuration, you hold it for the whole game, and there's nothing you can do to, like, change it. Basically, Pinhead is basically Dying Light the perk, but you make it into a character archetype. Whoever finds it becomes the obsession and receives like a huge buff. I have written down 50%, but that might be too stupid. I don't know. So there's 50% buffs to their healing speeds, unhooking, vaulting, stuff like that. Maybe not gen repair. That might be too retarded. You might reduce that to like 25% or something. But like I have 50 written down for everything. So you give the obsession buffs to their action speed when they hold the Lament configuration, and you give them a decisive strike. Anybody that holds the Lament configuration can stun Pinhead for 6 seconds one time with it at any point during the chase. So, I mean, that's something you might remove because decisive strike is stupid, and I understand that, but like, it is canon in the game Pinhead series that the Lament configuration stuns him, and like, well, it actually kills him, but we'll nerf it for the game. But like, those are all the benefits you get. However, the obsession is in a state of permanent exhaustion carrying around the Lament configuration. So they can't. So like, if you're the obsession, you have like buffs to your movement speed and not move. Well, maybe you could do it like 110. I don't know. You buff the obsession, but they cannot use dead hard. Can't use balance landing. No sprint burst. No exhaustion perks. They're in a state of permanent exhaustion the entire game. And they are also unaffected by all anti-tunneling perks, so no borrowed time, no D-strike, nothing that would save them from a tunnel would be allowed on them. If they hold the Lament configuration, they can't use any, they cannot be saved from tunneling. You could make them, Metal of Man doesn't work on them, nothing works on them to save them from being tunneled. So, yeah, we are making a killer whose job is to tunnel somebody. And then, upon the sacrifice of the obsession, who has the configuration, Pinhead obtains the box, and then he transports the game to hell. And then everybody receives huge debuffs. It's Dying Light the character, essentially. And then like all the survivors receive like a 50%. I have 50% written down again because the counterplay is all there with body blocking and shit. It's just like a level of strategy. I think Dying Light matches are super fun and super interesting. I don't run the perk. I played it as like a survivor, but I think it'd be a cool like gimmick build to run on like a Myers that could easily just kill somebody. So I think it'd be neat to like apply that to another character, and of course the potential to give Pinhead like a fucking Ivory Mori and then like fucking Mori the Obsession. Jesus Christ. But like so like you're saying, well, why not just don't pick up the thing at all? Well, if you don't pick the thing up at all and complete the second generator, Pinhead gets a bang on where it is, and he can go over there and then like find it himself, which will result in the survivors getting not as bad of debuffs as if the obsession dies, but like enough debuffs to where it would be a pain in the ass. And then Pinhead also receives an aura reading on the obsession every I have written down 30, but you could like shift it around and stuff and make it in different order. So like, and then as far as a power that helps him in the chase, I couldn't really think of any, but like, because like a lot of Pinhead's screen time is spent standing. Like, let's not kid each other. He throws chains at people a lot, but like I don't know how you make that his power. I mean, you definitely make Jesus Wept his Mori, but like, in terms of like fucking using the chains to help him out in the chase, I mean, I guess you could throw him over pallets to just kind of be like Alien's Tail that I just had the idea for. But like, I don't know. If anyone more creative than me wants to chime in with some ideas, Those were my ideas, though. I think, again, these characters might be broken, might be bad. I'm not the best at character design. I don't think. I don't think this is one of my strong suits. Again, my strong suit is fixing characters when they're. This is because I love bad characters so much. So like, I love like theory crafting on how to make a bad character good. That's like my idea. If you hear anything I say on the pig, man. I've theory crafted on the pig more than any other killer in this game because I want to see her good. Because I think the secondary objective archetype is an archetype that needs more expansion. Because like the top 5 right now are like the best killer that does secondary objective stuff is Doctor, and even then, some people don't even think he's very good. So I think I would make more killers like that, more killers that have secondary objective archetypes, and then actually like make them good. Because I think because like survivor time being wasted, nothing is better than that. I don't think. But like the meta of this game right now is just killers that can down them so fucking fast it doesn't fucking matter. That's the meta. But you know, I like to see the bad archetype extend, like the objectively worse archetype of this game, secondary objectives. I would like to see those expanded upon to try to make them better. So I think giving more killers stuff like that. Who has the secondary objective right now? Freddy, Plague, the Pig, Doctor. Those are the 4 I can think of off the top of my head. 4 characters. Legion, I guess, with the deep wounds. 5. So like 5 out of 15 killers have secondary objectives, and they're all like in the lower half of the tier list. Legion was the best. But that's because but you know, back when he was a thing, but he's not a thing anymore. So I don't know, those are my ideas. Those are some killers I would like to see. Anything that, you know, see what they got, man. I think they'd be fun. Alright, Rosie out, boys. This has been fun.